The healing power of sound, up next on Carpe Diem. Hello and welcome to Carpe Diem. I'm Christian Curatola. Sounds are all around us in everyday life. From music on the radio to the honking of a car horn or birds chirping in the trees, sounds can generate positive and negative effects on our health. But can it actually be used to heal things like anxiety, insomnia, or depression? Well, today, we'll embark on a sound journey with Dr. Deborah Zafman, a local holistic health coach from Montclair, certified by the Vibrational Sound Association. She'll uncover the healing power of sound with her Himalayan singing bowls. So let's take a look.
Welcome everybody. I'm going to be taking you on a vibrational sound journey. So get comfortable. Close your eyes and just begin to breathe deeply. Feeling the ground beneath you, supporting you. My name is Deborah Zafman, and I'm a vibrational sound healer. Although I would have to say that I'm not the healer, it's the bowls that have an impact on the person on the massage table such that they are put into a state that allows them to heal themselves. Even though you could say sound also comes from outside, the fact that it's invisible and the fact that there's an inner ear, there's something deeply interior about it. And so for me, there's a depth and resonance, for lack of a better word, I mean, that really is the word, that can, I think it can just shake you to your core. And sound is a very mystical thing because it's so concrete and physical, and at the same time it's like the most mystical, spiritual. It's invisible but seemingly very tactile and visible too. It's really good for people who have anxiety because it's that thing, it relaxes you despite yourself. Like you could be the most anxious person, but there is something about the rhythm of this slow striking of the bowls that just lulls the body into deep relaxation and completely quiets the mind. Let yourself just melt and sink deeper down. Just let the sounds that I'm playing navigate your journey. They're taking you deeper within yourself to that inner sanctum, that place of peace and blissful equanimity. A lot of it is that when I was an undergrad, I had this moment of realizing that music and sound was sort of the greatest thing one could be involved in the world, like of all the things that existed in reality. And it was a very deliberate, conscious decision that I was going to compose microtonal electronic music. But I had never studied music, so I had never played an instrument, and it was very theoretical for me. It was like I loved the idea of sound, and I loved the idea of being involved in that world. And so I started to take piano lessons and study music theory, and I really loved it. And I had this moment where I was really interested in microtones because I loved thinking about all the sounds that exist that are not C, C sharp, D, D sharp, everything in between those. And it seemed in my mind to be like this expansive world that I wanted to like explore and be in. And the real turning point was in 2014 when I had an opportunity to receive a vibrational sound massage, which was the hand-hammered Tibetan brass bowls. They're actually Himalayan, on the body. You know, you're on a massage table. And when I had that session, it was so cathartic. I really had some kind of a release because I was sobbing. It was as if those sound vibrations had like moved things through me. And all I could think was, I have to offer this to people, because it was like being, you know, sent to heaven. It was so blissful, but it was also so deeply moving. And there really was this like liberation or this release, like from a very deep place inside. And so Marcia, who had done the session with me, said, you know, you can train at the Vibrational Sound Association. They offer, you know, this program. So then it became this dream of mine. Each year I'd say, I'm going to do it, you know, this time. And finally I did it in 2018. One thing I really love about having people on the massage table and taking them on these vibrational sound journeys is their responses and reactions to it once they're back on Earth and having come back from paradise, and seeing them just glowing with this kind of wonder and awe of like never having believed that they could experience something that blissful and that beautiful. And so most people are just completely blown away and kind of can't wrap their minds around what that whole experience was. And then afterwards they will often say that they had like the best night of sleep that they hadn't had in years, that for 3-4 days afterwards they were just like elevated, on kind of walking on air. It kind of puts you in this very happy floating state.
with the bowls actually being placed on you, that was like insane. it was I don't know, because I just went through it, so it's hard to explain because you just you're laying there and you don't know what to expect. So when you do have a bowl on you and she plays it, it's just something kind of runs through you, and it's almost like you could just feel the vibrations throughout your whole body. Especially when you're standing inside of one of the Tibetan bowls. That's insane too, because you actually feel it like travel from your feet to your head. And I don't know, I just kind of feel refreshed after it, for sure. And that's saying something, because I don't even know how many hours of sleep last night, probably like 4. And now I'm awake, which is insane to say. So it's just a really great experience overall.
Well, wait, so how about show of hands? Who feels like kind of nervous and inhibited about doing this? Is it only me? Or oh, okay, okay, so we know there's zero judgment. This is total play. It means nothing. It's just about like letting our voices out in a way that's not rational. And each just blurt something, that whatever comes out, because you're not supposed, the whole point is none of us should be thinking, right? We're like not thinking about what we're gonna have come out of our mouth, and we're not judging what comes out of our mouth. So if I were gonna just muster the courage based on glossolalia principles, I'm bypassing the left brain or the frontal brain. Hara bavaranda rarara, varararam varadabanda, kakamamanama, palapatavara, vatadara, dadamavheya, kalam hemayo, vavachapala, hayay baravara, halabala, balabalaba, baba kantamata, Pia kara para pato, da pa la panya para pia pa, pa kara para ho la papa la papa ba, hata pa la para hura para para hadaya, papa pa 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 hura para hala papa pa la leo.
Like after the sound journeys that we went on as a group, and we were, chanting, we were saying and a whole bunch of other vowel sounds. I felt how I felt afterwards. It's hard to explain. It's, you would get up and you'd almost feel sleepy, but you wouldn't feel sleepy enough to go to sleep. You would just kind of, be in this state where you're relaxed and you're calm and you just want to stay in that place. Like, you don't want to break it or anything.
After the tuning session yesterday, where we unlocked our chakras through syllables that we all chanted together, I felt sort of spinny during it, and then afterwards it was I did feel lightheaded a little bit and airy, which is a good thing I wasn't driving. So, but yeah, I think it could be an issue if you're operating heavy machinery if you do a chakra unlocking ceremony beforehand. But it did feel good. I felt unblocked, and it felt very beneficial.
I loved it.
I thought the class was going to be just about using the bowls and learning about the vibrations through them and where they originated from and everything, I guess Tibet. But I have grown to know that we're more focused on sound as a concept and as an element in our world that we don't even consider more. So it's really interesting. And I really enjoy the meditations we do in the beginning of class, because it just sets the mood for the day.
The more I realize like how the vibrations interact with your body and how kind of certain vibrations and certain frequencies will resonate with certain parts of your body, it creates such a calming effect. And really, you can feel the energy becoming unblocked when you're in these types of experiences. And I think that it can help a lot for stress-related diseases, which really there's more evidence coming out now that a lot of diseases are primarily caused by stress. Or they're increased by stress. And the vibrations really help neutralize that and send you into a more calm state psychologically and physically. And I think that it can have a lot of benefits to treat a lot of different diseases, especially caused by stress.
When the tuning forks were used at the end of the sound bath, I actually didn't hear anything, but I guess I could have felt it without knowing what was going on. So.
To me, they sounded just like the bowls, like the type of vibrations, but really close to your head. It was like much more personalized. It wasn't so, it didn't feel internal, but it felt less external than it just going into the entire room, if that makes any sense. If you're a student and you're experiencing high levels of stress, it makes it so much more important to have experiences where you can return to a calm state, and it's so hard when you're under so much pressure and stress. So taking time to have experiences, especially ones that are really fast acting, which using the tuning forks and the sound bowls, and even your voice, and feeling the vibrations, it sends you into such a calm place, which allows you to focus more, and it allows you to it increases your well-being. And I think that if you are really stressed out and you're a student, it's going to improve your likelihood of doing well in your classes if you're taking the time to really care for yourself.
Well, so a sound journey, there's two types. One is, and it goes by many names. Some people call them gong baths, sound meditations. I personally like journey because I think that it does feel like you're going somewhere, like that the sound current is taking you wherever you need to go. So when it's with a group of people, they will generally lay on the floor with their eyes closed, and it is very much like a meditation too. And since so many people have trouble meditating, and people always say, oh, focus on the breath, and I mean the breath ultimately is the source of sound, but people find it hard to focus on the breath. So what's really beautiful about doing a sound journey is the bowls are just played with other little kind of instruments. You know, there's very low, very grounding sounds, and then kind of more celestial ones. But it enables one to, I think, more easily get to that place that I keep talking about, you know, dropping into that inner sanctum. And I think that the sounds kind of just navigate you there, and it works maybe more effectively than someone thinking, I have to focus on my breath, or I need to be counting. And, you know, people get really frustrated because they're like, I can't meditate because, you know, my brain keeps going. And something about these bowls, they just like lull you into this place where I often say you couldn't think if you wanted to. So that's a sound journey on where the bowls are not on your body, but you're maybe having a group experience because, you know, many people are in a room, each on their own journey, but the sound is guiding them. And then I also call the sessions on the table sound journeys as well. But I think that's like a much deeper experience because the sound vibrations are literally entering you at a molecular, cellular level, and they are touching so because the hand-hammered bowls have so much overtones and they're not these precise frequencies. They have this spectrum of sound that can then, when it enters you, like the deeper, slower waves can go deeper in, and the higher waves maybe don't go in as far. But the theory is, and I can't prove it, but I believe it, is that it's really being able to address every part of you, like your endocrine system, your skeletal system, your muscular, your circulatory, your nervous system. Like it's just able to reach, it's so, like there's a breadth and a depth and a richness that just enables all those things to be touched. And you know, I had someone yesterday have a session, and she literally said, I could feel all my cells just waking up and just sort of like perking up. And because sound moves matter, it animates matter, and it has a really powerful impact, and at the same time it's like the most gentle thing imaginable, and that's what's so kind of awesome about it. So when you're on the table and you're receiving these vibrations in you, they're deeply transforming you, and yet it's the most subtle, gentle thing. But they definitely move stuff, because that's what sound does. It moves matter, it impacts matter, it animates matter. And then sound travels best in water, and that's what we're primarily made of. So just for me, just to think about those beautiful bowls, like they're just loving you when they go in, and they're helping you to, I mean, it's like a tune-up. It literally is. It's like being in tune. And it seems to me that people who receive these sessions are better equipped to harmonize with the world outside themselves, because they're sort of in better harmony with themselves, and then they're resonating, they're just sort of more open and receptive and able to resonate and harmonize with whatever circumstances come. So there's, I keep calling it blissful equanimity. You know, you just reach this place, and then, and that's why I think they're magical.
Hey Wendy!
Hey Deborah!
Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
So what are you making this time?
I'm making a spring salad. It's slimming, detoxifying, and energizing.
I love the sound of that.
So right after I had become certified with the Vibrational Sound Association, one of my best friends, Wendy Renshaw, had just become certified as a holistic health coach through IIN, and she was doing plant-based living, and we realized that we were both just starting these new ventures, and that what they had in common obviously was wellness and having this, trying to motivate people to live sort of in their highest manifestation and be their best selves. And this idea that food and sound had some connection because they nourished you not just in this physical way of the body, but actually the soul, and on all levels. And that there was something kind of interesting, because food is so sort of basic and essential to everyone, and the whole sound healing world seemed very less known by people and maybe a bit more esoteric. And so Wendy and I had this idea that if we did sort of educational workshops together, and then the kind of interesting fun part was we were like, well, what should we call it? And we were wondering, and then there was one morning I woke up and just like a bolt of lightning, bowls, because I was like, you eat out of bowls and then you play the bowls, and I had actually learned that these bowls that everyone calls Tibetan bowls, that are really Himalayan bowls, were originally for food. They weren't instruments. They were, so anyway, so then we like loved that idea that it would be called bowls, and our sort of subtitle is Nourishing the Soul with Food and Sound.
About a year ago, we were sat out on Deborah's porch, and we were celebrating our respective journeys into wellness. And Deborah just completed her vibrational sound journey certification, and I'd just finished with my health coaching certificate as well, and was trying to figure out, what's the next step. And as we got talking, it was really interesting when you get down into the cellular level of health, how the energetics of it, how similar sound and the energy from food really are. And we just thought, well, we're really good friends and we love this concept of combining sound and food, and let's see how we can make that work. Yeah. It's really interesting. There has been studies that have shown that if you if you're playing different frequencies, it really affects the taste buds and the energy that it connects with. And so we did a test where we took some bittersweet chocolate and 2 pieces. We didn't tell people what it was, we just gave it out. And Deborah played a low tone first, so we got a very deep, low sounding frequency. And they ate the chocolate while they were listening to the sound. And then we did the same thing, but this time we gave them the chocolate with a high frequency sound. And the taste was, you would swear it was 2 different pieces of chocolate, that one was very dark and bitter and the other was kind of sweet and milky. But they were exactly the same piece of chocolate, yeah.
And so we had 2 pieces of chocolate, and we tried a piece on one type of sound, and it tasted really bitter, and because it's bittersweet chocolate, so it was literally just tasted bitter. And then on the other sound, it just completely tasted sweet, and like you couldn't taste either other side during that sound, and it was wild.
This has actually been a lot more fun than I was intending. I'm not a spiritual person. I'm a Catholic, and like usually this is considered, I don't want to sound corny, but evil. And this was just so enlightening and different than what I expected in a good way. And I think it's going to make me more spiritual in the end.
My name is Deborah Zaffman, and I'm a vibrational sound therapist. And I thoroughly enjoy giving people vibrational sound journeys.
To find out more about Deborah Zaffman and Wendy Renshaw and their Bliss Bowls therapy, visit www.spanda.live. If you would like more information about this or any other edition of Carpe Diem, you can write to us at the email address on your screen, carpediem@mail.montclair.edu, or call us at 973-655-5158. For Carpe Diem, I'm Christian Curatola. Thanks for watching.